The newest Paragon hero, Wraith, will be released very soon. He's just right around the corner, and obviously, as we get closer and closer towards that date, we gain more intel information about this character. And today we're going to discuss how to counter him in multiple ways by using certain builds, picks, and also strategies when against a Wraith player. Because even though Wraith's playstyle is unique and different, the way everything else affects him isn't so different compared to other heroes that we've countered in the past. So we need to talk about this and describe how to counter him within this video. Welcome mates, I'm Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy, and today we're back on Paragon once again. There might be the announcement trailer in the background for the new hero Wraith, or some gameplay, depending on what I pick. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the topics that we mentioned at the very start of this video, countering the new hero Wraith. There are many ways to do so because we've gained intel from one of the Epic Game members and the Paragon team members, SLG. He's pretty much been discussing all the questions that have been asked about the new hero Wraith, and there's been so many questions being thrown around in the community on Reddit, YouTube, and anything you can find Wraith connected to on a website. He's most likely responded and said something about it, and we've gained some of those tweets or pretty much images here and there just to describe what his opinion was on it, and also how we can use that intel to counter the new hero Wraith. So we have quite a bit of juicy information to discuss within this video, but mate, before we get into this video, make sure you smash that bloody like button. Let's try to get 200 likes on this video. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. So with the new hero Wraith, there's many ways to counter him because he has different abilities, different utilities within his kit that show or give different outcomes which can be countered. For in fact, his rewind ability can be countered, and also his invisibility when he enters Shadow Plane can be countered as well. In many ways, and we need to describe how to do so with a certain build, with a certain hero, and with a certain strategy when you play against a Wraith player. So let's jump into the first aspect of countering Wraith with a build, and that's how to counter his rewind ability, which is called Back It Up, because you can actually counter this ability in two ways, and the best way is obviously to cleanse that ability. And the reason why we know that is because of this image right here, or this comment. Rats, I was going to save this for my guy, but now the cat is out of the bag. Yes, cleanse works. Facing off against a Wraith on the enemy team is just another reason to pick up a cleanse card. So the cleanse card does work, and it really works against the rewind ability. So once you're caught up, or pretty much caught in the Back It Up ability, you're able to cleanse your card, or use a card that is able to have a cleanse mechanic to get out of that rewind function, so you pretty much are not being pulled back into a certain location where you can get trapped and killed. So a good example of this is when Wukong gets caught by the Back Up ability in the announcement trailer. Hopefully I can show that little frame right now, hoping I'm doing that as I'm editing it, and you're able to see Wukong pretty much being pulled back into a certain location behind him. Another little thing that someone else picked up was that there's a ghost or Wraith behind the character that is rewinding. So you know where Wukong is as Wraith does use his ability? You can see another ghost effect of Wukong behind, pretty much showcasing where he's going to go back to. If the ability Back It Up, which is the rewind mechanic, succeeds in its purpose, or if you cleanse that, obviously you won't be able to go back to that exact same position that has been marked when Wraith is using that ability against you. You pretty much be stopped halfway, or pretty much really early on before you get pulled back. Some good cards that do have the cleanse mechanic are Hunter's Guile, Purity Sensor, and Toxic Gel, and let's go through a quick description of what those cards are. With Hunter's Guile, it's an uncommon card that's part of the growth affinity, and does provide the initial stacks of 6 power and 60 health as the initial stats, and the active is removes all debuffs from your hero, cooldown 120 seconds, and obviously this is strictly on the growth affinity, and the purpose of this card is a solo cleanse mechanic, and there's no full upgrade bonus on this card. The next card is the Purity Sensor card, a rare card in the order affinity, and does have the initial stats of 30 mana and 60 health. Active removes all debuffs from yourself and nearby allies, costs 80 mana, cooldown 120 seconds, and this is a team cleanse mechanic card, and once completed all upgrades, there is no full upgrade bonus. And the last card is a universal card which is called Toxic Gel, a rare card, and this card can be used on any hero. The initial stacks is 120 health, unique passive burst cleanse, taking 400 damage within 5 seconds, activates a cleanse, 2-second cooldown. Usually this works really well on a tank hero because it's a burst cleanse mechanic with 2-second cooldown, and obviously you need a crap load of health because you'll be taking a lot of damage in order to activate this cleanse mechanic. And there is no full upgrade bonus on this card as well. The first two cleanse cards are the better options due to the fact they have an active cleanse mechanic is always the best way to go because your timing needs to be impeccable when versing a hero like this, due to the fact that SLG did comment about the backup ability, and there's some very annoying parts about it as we're going to mention right now. His Back It Up is extremely effective crowd control. It's just a bit different than what we normally consider CC. You can seriously disrupt opponents by warping them back a couple of seconds, especially because the range on it is so generous, or pretty much generous. So the idea is that it has insane range on this ability. So it's going to be hard to play around it, but if you can, make sure you do. But with this ability, or the cleanse mechanic cards, you're able to use that to your benefit and just get that right timing in order to make that warping ability or the backup ability on the new hero Wraith completely irrelevant when he comes to targeting you with that ability. When it comes to Wraith's ultimate, surprise surprise, Wraith sends himself and nearby allies into the shadow plane and grants a movement speed boost. There's some cards you can take in this which are pretty much easy cards. It's part of the vision game. Use wards. Wards are going to be your best friend when versing a Wraith player. And also there's another card which is a very interesting card if your hero is ability orientated and is able to use abilities quite a bit with low cooldowns on those abilities. Get this card, it's called Wicked Stigma, and it has a very interesting function, and we're going to describe that card right now. The card Wicked Stigma is a part of the Corruption Affinity, a rare card with the initial stats of 0.3 mana regen and 60 health, alongside the passive of, on hit with an ability, gain vision of targets for 6 seconds. And there's no full upgrade bonus on this card. And this card is very good because it's pretty much really easy to obtain, because it's only 5 points to use in your build, so you can pick that up in the early to mid game stages when versing a Wraith player. And once you land an ability on that enemy Wraith or his teammates, you'll gain vision on them for 6 seconds. So if they enter the shadow plane area with Wraith's ultimate, it becomes completely irrelevant for 6 seconds. So you're pretty much able to see them and see what's going on. And most likely, Wraith's ultimate won't be going for a long period of time. I'm guessing it'll be around 6 seconds, around that. And now let's move on to the second aspect of this video, how to counter Wraith by using a different hero. And this hero is going to be Kallari. I'm a Kallari main. I've played Kallari for such a long time, and I know so much about Kallari. You've seen my best moments, you've seen my builds, you've seen my pretty much experience on the character. There's quite a bit I have on that character. And then obviously, the vision game and playing around the vision game is the hardest part about playing Kallari. But once you understand that, Kallari becomes easy and obviously very skillful depending on how you play that character in certain situations and how you apply yourself in that situation in order to win that. So obviously the new hero is going to have a learning curve to it if you've never played Kallari before, because he does have an invisibility ability or stealth ability properties of that, and that is pretty much him entering the shadow plane. And the one thing that is kind of annoying obviously are wards and pretty much some other things here and there. But if another person is playing Kallari against a Wraith player, that Wraith player is going to pretty much be pissed off all the time in that game, due to the fact that every time he ults, you will ult. Because Kallari's Death Sentence ability has 5 seconds of vision on all characters on the map, and that is applied to everyone else on your team, so you're able to see everyone that's on the enemy team, and if they're in the shadow plane area as well, you'll be able to see them. And pretty much, that is a good way to reveal all enemies on the map as Kallari when you activate Kallari's ult to pretty much stop the Wraith ultimate from ever working and pretty much being successful in using his ultimate in order to get kills on your team members. Because once he activates it, you completely counter his ultimate. And depending on the numbers and stats on his actual ability, which is obviously his ultimate, surprise surprise, and how long he's able to stay in the shadow plane area, him and his allies, I'm guessing it's around 5 to 6 seconds. That seems like to be a reasonable time. And if it's a bit more, it doesn't really matter, because this ability and your wards will counter them quite a bit. So pick Kallari against this character. And I know some of you may be going to say, if you use Kallari and you ulti the new hero, he's just going to instantly use the back it up ability, send you back to the place where you teleported from. Yes, that could happen. But make sure once you activate your ultimate, you don't target the person that is the hero Wraith. You target someone that's close by a team or pretty much a little bit further away, so you can neglect the range of the back it up ability so you don't get hit by that and you don't go back in time, and obviously you can stay in that fight and kill him or kill his team members pretty quickly if you know how to play Kallari right. And now let's move on to the third aspect of this video, and those are some strats you can use against this character in order to counter him with just basic strats that you can use within the Paragon experience. Wraith's ability Knock Knock is a long-range scope shot that penetrates through terrain, killing an enemy hero or minion with this ability will refund the mana cost over a short time and reduce the cooldown. Also, this ability has been mentioned to have insane amounts of range due to the fact of the data mine information that was connected to version 40.5, when it talked about the range of this ability being close to 2,500 units, pretty much the same as an R2000 missile from Howitzer. So pretty much that damage is not as the same, but the range is exactly the same or close to that. And also, Knock Knock ability does not penetrate through multiple minions or heroes. It will only penetrate through one target. As you can see through this comment by SLG, it only hits one target. It does not go through multiple targets. Edit, Knock Knock does go through terrains but not towers. Also, I just realized that Wraith will be able to ward the gold buff area and snipe it through Geo in the offlane, which is sick. One way to play around this ability is standing in front of a minion wave while you're in lane. In order for Ghost or Wraith to hit you, he needs to hit that minion that's in front of you, so obviously it's not going to hit you at all because it doesn't penetrate through minions. So that's a good way to neglect that damage from his sniper ability, which is called Knock Knock. Also, you can use a scout ward and place that scout ward right in front of you as he's about to shoot the Knock Knock ability, due to the fact that your scout ward does have a health and it's pretty much visible all the time. So it'll be hitting that scout ward and obviously it won't penetrate through and it won't hit you, so that's really great. So you won't be taking any of that damage and obviously your scout ward will die out straight away from that ability. When it comes to Wraith's next ability, which is called Who's There, Wraith launches a sonar wall that pings its location to reveal nearby enemy heroes, no line of sight restrictions. And it's also mentioned by SLG, his ability cannot be destroyed and exists in the world for a good amount of time. So pretty much the best way to counteract this ability is not to be in that area at all, because the intel they once had it initially will be lost, and obviously you can wait it out and then play around it and then go in for a kill or play around the Raptors or Prime if the enemy team try and get team objective when using Wraith. And his next ability, which is called Back It Up, we know how this ability works, pretty much a lock-on ability that warps enemies back in time. The best ways you can pretty much counteract this is make sure not to be in his range at all, especially once you don't have a cleanse mechanic card. If you don't have it, make sure you're not close to him and make sure someone else takes the Back It Up ability, maybe a tank or someone with high mobility that's able to get in and out from that ability as quick as possible. Also, if the enemy Wraith has succeeded in using his Back It Up ability, make sure you ping help, because obviously your mates can see where you're going to go back into or play where your placement is going to be after that reunite ability, and hopefully they're able to pretty much back you up as the enemy team Wraith is using Back It Up. Pretty much the idea is to have your team reinforce you as you get out of that ability so you don't die instantly. And obviously the next ability, which is the ultimate surprise, we have already mentioned how to counter that in detail, but also another way to counter that, if you are using those cards in your build like Wicked Stigma and Wards or even the hero Kalari, you could also just pay attention to the map. Map awareness is key in Paragon, in any MOBA, in any game. So pretty much if you can use that to your advantage, if you see the enemy Wraith disappear on the map, make sure you're all playing safe. None of you are too aggressive, because the only reason a Wraith player will roam is because he's a utility carry and he's able to roam and help his team in order to get kills and assist his jungler in ganking in other lanes. So make sure if you see Wraith gone, you all play safe. Map awareness will save your life when playing Paragon and any other game ever that existed. And with that last bit of information, that is all the ways you can counter the new hero Wraith that we currently know of, and that is so many ways, all effective in their own way, in their own right. So make sure you use these and adopt these playstyles and cards and builds and heroes and ideas when playing Paragon in version 41. Obviously in version 41 there'll be new cards and maybe there's some other cards that will counter the hero Wraith, and if they are really effective I will mention it in one of my videos. That is guaranteed, because I'm going to keep you guys up to date on how to counter heroes and pretty much the Paragon news and the Paragon experience overall, because we try to have fun time, swell time, and just have the best experience when playing Paragon. But mates, as always, if you have any ideas on how to counter the new hero Wraith, or have some idea on some type of playstyle or something you can adopt in order to counter Wraith, make sure you leave that in the comment section down below, because don't be shy mates, we love to have a discussion down there, and if there's anything about this topic that you want to talk about, leave it in the comment section down below, because we love to talk about it. So leave your opinions and thoughts down below. So mates, if you did enjoy this video, show us by smashing that like button. Let's try to get 250 likes on this video, because we put out so much work into this and so much details about each ability and how to counter it. It's so much fun. But show your support by smashing that like button. And also, if you may see more Paragon gaming content and gaming content in general on my channel, all you have to do is share this with your friends and hit the subscribe button to become a mate today. And that is all for this video. Oh, time to go, but don't you worry. Back very soon. And that's boys, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh my god, guys, I think Wraith is going to be completely irrelevant, useless when it comes on the first days of Paragon, because you mates are up to date with the ways to counter that hero. And I bet that feels amazing.